Okay, we'll get started. People can join as we're going along here. I'm Aaron Hynum. I work for Phoenix Restoration Equipment, and I am heavily involved in all things DryLink, including DryLink Asset Manager. And I have with me Dave Clavey from our marketing department. And the chat feature will be open throughout the presentation. Feel free to chat questions. If they're timely, Dave will bring them to my attention. Otherwise, we'll do the Q&A at the end. So we'll get started here. Okay, so I'll start by just covering the agenda. I'm going to give you a brief overview of the DryLink ecosystem, just so you understand it. Then the DryLink Asset Manager overview. We'll talk about what DryLink Asset Manager is, and then how it's related to DryLink. It's just important if you're deciding to buy equipment that you understand how they're related. But I'll do that part quickly. Then I want to talk about how Asset Manager works, and very specifically how we are different than other solutions in the market. I want to talk about the problems we are solving. I'll show you the pricing. I want to spend a little time on upcoming innovations, including multi-location companies and how we handle that. And then briefly talk about dash cam and driver data. That is something that will be coming up. And then I want to give you a live demo. Okay, so what is the DryLink ecosystem? The DryLink ecosystem is Bluetooth-based, a Bluetooth-based job site data collection tool with optional remote monitoring. We also have a drying report. We have an app and a web portal. And then we have the asset tracking, which is completely hands-free if you have an integration, and I'll talk about that. Okay, so just to show what the DryLink subscription levels are, there's DryLink Basic, which is a free level where if you sign up, you can control your dehumidifier. You can do firmware updates, you can, turn it on or off or purge and things like that. If you want to do jobs with DryLink, you have to have a subscription to DryLink Jobs. DryLink Asset Manager is a subscription, and I'll talk about the pricing later, and that includes DryLink Jobs. So if you get into DryLink Asset Manager and you decide you want to do jobs, there is not an additional charge for that. And then for those familiar with E3, that's a proprietary system for sizing and doing your jobs and getting equipment recommendations from the DeWalt School of Drying. We have E3 as an add-on feature. Okay, real quickly, I don't want to spend a lot of time here, but this is just showing the DryLink ecosystem. We have a smart dehumidifier. We have the dry tag. So the smart dehumidifier data logs and sends data to an app or a dry phone and to a drying report. The dry tag, what's unique about this is it has an accelerometer in it, so it senses vibration, so it can tell you if equipment is on or off. It can be important if equipment is turned off. You'll see down here, you can add it to any equipment. This is part of the asset tracking system. The dry phone is for the remote monitoring part of doing jobs. This is just showing DryMax BLE. And then we have DryTag RH, which is important to know because it does asset tracking, but it also does temperature and relative humidity. In case you're thinking about doing jobs, you might want to get this, even if you're doing asset tracking, but you're thinking that you're going to do jobs later on. You can add this to any non-smart dehumidifier and stream data and do asset tracking. And then this is called DrySense for moisture content sensing. So that's just a quick overview. Okay, now to know specifically why they're related, DryTag, DryTag RH, and DryPhone are used in both systems. So DryTag and DryTag RH do asset tracking, and now we have DryTag AM, a low-cost tag that's available as well. But DryTag AM, the low-cost tag, does not give you that on-off functionality with the accelerometer. And DryPhone you can use on job sites as well if you want to keep track of equipment, first of all, whether it's running, or second of all, whether or not somebody moved it off of the job site. The DryPhone reports in every 15 minutes it's an optional thing, but you can use it that way. So this is, again, talking about the accelerometer here. DryTag RH also has an accelerometer built into it as well. Okay, then moving on to DryLINK Asset Manager specifically, we're tracking inventory with no human interaction. Now, I do want to point out, to really make this system work completely automated, we need an integration to whatever you're using for your job management. So we have a number of integrations. I'm going to show you those. Otherwise, you need to use DryLINK to do jobs, or you at least have to enter the jobs into DryLINK in order to get the functionality of automating job sites and equipment being put on and off the jobs. We're going to know where your equipment is by location. So it's either going to be in your warehouse, on a job, or on a truck, or at an unknown location where we last saw it. But mainly, we expect it to be in a warehouse, a job, or a truck. We have map view, table view, and list view, and I'm going to show you what those things look like. We're able to export in most screens to Excel so that you can manipulate data however you like. I'm going to show you, we have a thing called labels, and I want you to see what that looks like. It's a proprietary thing we have that's really cool for keeping track of your inventory. We have kits for our semi-trailers, and we have a lost and stolen equipment finder, and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so this screen is just meant to illustrate generally what's happening. So we use geofences. We have a geofence around your main warehouse, and we put geofences around all of your jobs as they come in. That way, when your trucks drive inside of a geofence or outside of a geofence, we're making decisions about, like, if the truck comes in with 10 pieces of equipment and leaves with 5, now it actually could drop off. Let's say it dropped off all 10, but it picked up 5 and drove away. We will scan that truck. We'll know what happened, and we'll add the 10 to this job and remove the 5 from the job, and the truck will go on its way. So we're using the geofences to trigger scans to keep track of your inventory. You can see that we can do offsite storage even with no power. Our gateways have a battery that lasts for up to 3, well, guaranteed 3 years. And when you're using it in a battery powered mode, it scans every 6 hours. So it's meant, normally in a vehicle, it should be connected to a switch circuit so that the gateway is under vehicle power when the vehicle is turned on, and it only runs on battery power when the vehicle is turned off. So that's important. And one thing I wanted to point out is, if you're thinking about getting into asset management, there is a way to do it, and it is a commitment to get this done. I mean, it's, if you're tagging equipment, it does take time. You have to get your numbering system, how you're going to name your equipment. And, we do have tools. We can import Excel files to help you out. But I just want you to know that, there is a fair amount of work to be done to get Asset Manager going. Now, it's great once it's going. Okay. Then this is just showing the different devices used. Here's the gateway. This is what goes in the trucks and the warehouses. An employee phone can read tags. The dry phone can read tags. And these are the tags that are always sending out information. Like I say, we've added DryTag AM. Okay, now this is an important screen. I want to talk about the ways in which we are different. We have this automation. And the automation automatically assigns and removes equipment to jobs. It automatically completes jobs in DryLINK. And I want to show you with some live data what that looks like and how you can have access to that. DryLINK jobs included with DryLINK Asset Manager pricing. I'm not aware of any other system that has that. We have a best-in-class web portal that I'll show you what that looks like. And here's an important one. We're building this into Phoenix equipment. So over time, you don't have to buy tags. For example, our new dehumidifier, the DryMax XL Pro, you don't need a tag. You just put 2 AA batteries on the board, and it's ready for asset tracking. So it's powering that Bluetooth radio even when the equipment is not plugged in. You can use our system with any brand. We have continual monitoring with the dry phone if that's important to you on job sites. We have, we're a major brand and we're building something very specific to our industry. So we're not like some, asset tracking that's just trying to do multiple industries at once. And I'll show you later in one of our views how we've customized it to the industry. We have beacons with accelerometers, and that's the choice you have to make when you're getting into DryLINK Asset Manager is, do I want the on-off functionality and the other things that come along with that for DryLINK jobs? Or am I okay, I'm never going to do DryLINK jobs and I just want to do Asset Manager. Then I can buy the low-cost beacon, which is called DryTag AM. We have equipment statuses, so it's updated automatically by the system, which is on the job, available, and missing. And missing would be we haven't scanned it in a certain amount of days, and you set that amount of days. The default is 7. And then we have other statuses that are manual, such as in service or lost. We have labels, which I'm going to show you more specifically how they work, but they have some great functionality. We have the ability to fully scan and have a complete inventory on semi-trailers. We have battery-powered gateways and the crowdsourced equipment finder. Okay, so on the automation front, you can see here, I did talk about how we have geofences for jobs, warehouses, and actually we've done that now for a service center. So let's say you always take your equipment to a specific service center. You can add them into our system, and when you go there and drop off equipment, it'll show it in that service center, just waiting, until it's picked up by a truck with a gateway. You can see on the right here, this is what a job beacon or icon looks like. So we're using the job information to put the icon on the map. You can zoom right in and see where that job is. This is a view showing a bunch of trucks that have returned for the evening that are at this warehouse of this company. And this is what that looks like. And here is the warehouse in red. Again, we use these geofences to initiate scans automatically. And the job geofences can be auto-created with integrations. So we have integrations with Restoration Manager, Exact Analysis, Encircle, and iRestore. And we have a beta test going on with ServPro. This should be live soon. Okay, and this is showing you what our equipment statuses look like. You can see there's tabs where you can view the different types of equipment. You have available, on the job, missing, and maintenance. We do have a lost tab that's part of the list view that I'll show you in a minute, but these are the available statuses. Okay, so this is what a label looks like. So you can, here's some uses for it. You can identify where equipment belongs. So in other words, if you want to have specific equipment always in a certain warehouse or a certain vehicle, or even belong to an employee, you could put a label. You can see this says Madison Warehouse. So I'm adding the label. These 2 pieces of equipment always belong at this Madison Warehouse. So you can put multiple labels on a piece of equipment. So you can label it however you want, and it just allows you to easily sort by these labels. You can use it to identify equipment rented out or loaned to others. So let's say I'm giving 50 pieces to another restoration company I know, but I want to keep track of that. So I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to say rented to ABC Restoration, and I put a label on those, and now I can keep track. So after they're done, if I look in my system and I have 47 of them, but 3 are missing, I'm going to call ABC Restoration and say, hey, I didn't get those 3 back. So that's a use for that. And the labels, you can use to filter and show their actual location on the map. Now, remember, if you lend the equipment to somebody and they don't have gateways, it's not going to show you where it is. It'll show you the last location that it was at when it was scanned by a gateway, but it doesn't have its own built-in GPS. It needs to be, the tag needs to be read by a gateway, and the gateway has GPS. So it would show you the last known location on the map. Okay, now here's some problems that we're solving. Just wanted to bring these up to make sure you understand the benefits of DryLINK Asset Manager. So bill for all equipment on the job. We found out really quickly in our testing that plenty of companies, the technicians were not reporting all the equipment that they put on the job. So they might have put 3 dehumidifiers and 10 air movers, but they only wrote down the serial numbers for 2 dehumidifiers and 8 air movers, and they were shorting themselves in the billing. Well, Asset Manager can correct that because it will show you what was on the job and when it was on the job. So it definitely helps with that. You can reduce the need for physical inventory, reduce equipment that gets left behind at a job site. You can have better equipment utilization by knowing where your equipment is and what's available when a new call comes in. You can know the location of your vehicles. We now are updating our vehicles every 30 seconds, so the map, is very current. You can locate your labeled assets, and you can find lost equipment. Now, the way we find lost equipment is we can crowdsource equipment. So if you have our smart dehumidifier and it gets lost or stolen, and if our app is open and ever gets near that when it's running, it will ping in to our system. And in fact, the new DryMax XL Pro could ping in without even being plugged in. It just needs to get within Bluetooth range of anybody's app. Not even, you don't have to be the owner of it, just any DryLINK app, and it will update our cloud with the current GPS location. Okay, so this shows you some of the pricing. So you get up to 1,000 assets is $99 a month for our system. The gateways are $30 a month for all of the data that's involved in it. If you have more than 1,000 assets, 1,000 to 5,000 is $199 a month. You get asset tracking added to our web portal. You get automated fleet management, so you'll be able to see your vehicles updated every 30 seconds. You get this advanced inventory list that I'll show you. You get DryLINK jobs included for free. You can do unlimited jobs, no fee per job, and unlimited users. Over here, we have our tag pricing. Dry Tag AM, if it was on here, which I should update this, it should say basically $24 a tag is the, these are all MSRP. So there's bulk pricing here. You can get down substantially on the tags at bulk pricing. Gateways are $449, semi-trailer kit is $149. That is what the pricing looks like. Okay, then I want to talk to you about a new feature that we're beta testing this month. This is called multi-location companies. As you can see, this would be anybody that has more than one location in their company. And what we're going to do is make it so that you can view the specific branches and all the jobs and equipment, all the jobs and equipment by branch or at a macro view. And this says coming in 2024. We're beta testing in April. Okay, and this, I just wanted to show you, this is actually our beta. I mean, I took a screenshot of our beta website, and this is kind of what I would call our table view, which I really haven't showed you yet. But the way this works is we've got Xactimate categories across here. This is showing all available equipment. And then this is like the headquarter company, and this is like a division, Coastal Holdings and Upland Holdings. These are like divisions. So this could be like, maybe you have like your East Coast or West Coast. And then in here, you can have the individual branches. So Coastal Holding has 4 branches, and you can see all the equipment rolls up. So first, your individuals roll up into your division, same down here. And then that all rolls up into this top level. Now, you don't have to have a 3 level. It could just be 2 levels, a company with 2 locations. But we can do more than 1 level if necessary with our system. So that is the multi-location companies. Okay, and with that, I want to move on to a demonstration with live data so you can see what the web portal actually looks like. So I'm going to switch to that view. Let's see here. Need to go here. Okay, so I'll start by showing you what jobs look like. So this is a company that is has our automation turned on. So they have 56 jobs that have come in. This is what the job screen looks like. I'm just going to show you briefly here. There's one I just wanted to show you. If I go in here, what the system does is it auto creates a chamber for you. Now, this person isn't using our system for jobs. So here's this chamber that's auto created. But what's important about it is it does have the equipment view. So if we look, it just makes a chamber 1, room 1. That's all it's going to do. But here it's keeping track of when all the equipment was added to the jobs. And when it's removed, it'll keep that as well. This has the history turned on. So it's just a nice feature. Now, if they went to the drying data, you would see that we don't have any visits because, like I said, they're not using jobs. Now, one thing that's nice too is if I go to our drying report and click on that, I'm going to hit view report. It's actually going to create a report. And even though they don't have the data in there, one thing that it does do is it keeps track of the equipment by the Xactimate category, how many used, how many job days. And then if I go into the chamber, here they all are. If you have the serial number in the system, we'll log that, how many days it's been there, when it was put on the job, and all this type of information. So that's what the DryLINK jobs view looks like. Now I'm going to move to the DryLINK. Whoops, I want to move this out of the way. Just a moment here. Okay. Whoops. Okay, here's what I wanted to show you next. I want to move to the equipment tab. Okay, so the equipment tab is going to give you a list view. It's going to show you all the equipment. So this company has 1,323 assets in the system, and they're all displayed in like a list view. So the first one I have is 2001. It's a focus axial, serial number, C11. Now, what I want to show you is the different columns that we have. One is the equipment name, and you do need to think about how you want to name your equipment. It's pretty important. So if I go in here and I start typing numbers, it will start searching for anything that it finds. So I typed in 253. The only thing in this system that has that is 1253 AFD 2000. So this is a powerful way of searching things. Works really well. You can also search in the serial number field. The general type, we just have dehumidifier, air mover, air scrubber, and other. You can, in the other column, name what the other things are. You could add anything you want, ladders, whatever you want. This is showing the DryTech battery. The UUID is a number that identifies the Bluetooth device. The location. So you can see that, we have West Clark. That's a job. These are jobs. This is the home office. These are just different locations. And then here's the status. So we have available, on the job, missing. So if I want to see what's available right now, I have 980 assets available. I have 337 on the job, so you can click on any of these to see. And then if I go down to the bottom here, there is a scroll bar and it locks the equipment name in place. And as I scroll over, I can see all of so here's status. Here's the address coordinates. We'll tell you exactly what address the asset is at. Any labels that you might have added, we'll have on here. We have the last read time and the last user. So you can see this was scanned here. This last was scanned by a truck. It was dropped at a job, so it was probably dropped on 413. You can see V6 box truck is what last dropped it off. And you've got the model, capacity, obviously it'll be for dehumidifiers, type, size, manufacturer. So we have all this type of information here. Now, if I go here to manage columns, this is going to show me my view. And you can see I can drag and drop. If I want serial number to come first, I can drop it here. Or if I don't want to see serial number, I can just turn it off. And these are all individual views for each user. It's stored in your browser history, so everybody can have their own view. The other thing we have is export to CSV. So at any time, you can click on that, and you can see it's exporting here. The file, it's just everything that I have on this screen was just exported. So another thing you can do here is you can select items in this list. And it's kind of nice too that let's say I selected these three, but I needed another one I don't see, and I just want to search for it. So I just search, and now you can see I still saved the three I had before. Now I'm going to add it. So now I've actually got 4 selected, and now I can either, this is for assigning to a job, so I could click this and assign the 4 pieces of equipment to a job. I could manage labels. This is where I would do that. So if I went in here, I could add labels or remove labels, and I can select, here's my available labels, or I can add a new one. See, it has add label down here. So these are all things you can do with labels. Let me scroll down. Just a moment here. Okay. So that's managing labels. Changing battery you can do here as well. And I can put it in and out of service. So I'm not going to do that, but I could say, oh, these 4 units that I've selected, I need to put in maintenance and hit change. But I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I'll deselect to just clear these filters here. Okay, so that is what the equipment tab looks like. Now I'm going to move on to the Asset Manager tab. Now, when I go to the Asset Manager tab, the default view that you get here is the map view. And you can see that I've selected warehouses and vehicles. I'm going to show you that first. I've got all my statuses selected here. And I like to look at the satellite view. I just think it's kind of cool. I'll show you what that looks like. And I did, excuse me, I did want to show you this customer. You can see there's 2 warehouses. They've actually added John Don Norcross as a warehouse, and they have 3 units in service, and they're keeping track of it this way. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. And then, like I say, the view, I like this view. If I zoom in, we should, whoops, I zoomed in too quickly. We should be able to see that this is indeed at that facility. So there's John Don Atlanta. So that's what that looks like. And of course, you can use that with any of your features. You can see where your trucks are on the map if you want. So I'll zoom back out. Like if we want to know where this guy is. So they got 3 dehumidifiers and 10 air movers on their truck. And it looks like they're on the highway, I-85, it looks like. So at any rate, this is your map view. You can also use the map view to look at jobs. So I'll take off vehicles and warehouses. I'll put on jobs. And you can see here's all these jobs. You can click around to see what equipment's on it. Now they have automation, so there could be jobs that don't have equipment on them. But this is how we display everything for you in the map view. Now, another nice feature that we have, and by the way, you can use these search boxes to search for anything that you want to search for. We have another view, which is called table view. And when we go to table view, you get what I showed you with that multi-location company. So now here we have let's see, what have we selected here? Oh, I got to select available. Okay, so here we have vehicles and warehouses, and they're all so V10 box truck. You can see it's got 6 axial air movers, 10 low profiles, a large dehumidifier. It's got a HEPA scrubber. So you can see all that. And if I click on this equipment tab, it'll take me to the list view, but it'll be filtered on these 19 pieces of equipment. So it makes it easy to select in the list view everything that's in that particular vehicle or warehouse or whatever you're looking at. And again, these columns, you can actually add your own. When you go to other, you can add custom, you can name it anything you want. So you can really keep track of anything you want with the list view. Okay, and then I was going to try and see if I can show you the, I have somewhere pulled up the, uh, the oh, here it is. This is the beta test view of what I showed you earlier. If it gets logged in, you can see it adds this enterprise tab. And with the enterprise tab, you can get this type of view. So this is what I was showing you earlier, except this is using live data. So this is showing that same thing I showed you earlier. You got a little bit more information over here. So that is the table view. Okay, so we're at about 35 minutes here, and I'm going to stop sharing and see what's come in for questions and see if I can answer questions for you. Let's see if Dave can jump on and let me know if we have any questions that I can answer.
Yeah, there was just one so far, and it was a question about how many units are required to get bulk pricing. So so if we could walk over it, like the different pricing tiers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the only reason I can't answer that is because, some people buy through distribution, some people contact us directly. So I can't give a hard and fast number, but I can tell you that I would contact us directly with your situation and we'll get your bulk pricing. Pretty much anybody doing asset tracking, you're probably buying enough tags, just the fact that you're doing asset tracking to get bulk pricing. Now, if you're just doing DryLINK jobs and you want to 20 tags, it's probably not going to qualify for bulk pricing. But if you're doing asset tracking, you're probably going to qualify for something there. So hopefully that's some kind of answer. Okay. Do we have any other questions, things that I could go over? I'm just trying to be respectful of people's time. I know that was a lot of information covered fairly quickly. We have a lot of information on our website. In case you want to investigate further. Also, the Phoenix sales team is very knowledgeable in all things DryLINK Asset Manager, and they can help you out. And I also did want to say, please, again, if you are going to do this, make sure you understand what needs to get done and in what order before you get started. And please don't pull all the battery pull tabs on all the tags, because it's not fun when 500 tags are all trying to ping into your phone at the exact same time and you're trying to get them matched up. It's so please don't do that. Okay, Dave, any other questions here?
Yes, we do have one more question. It says, I'd like to know more about the integration with how nCircle works, what data is transferred to / from each system.
Yeah. So the integration with nCircle, so they push the nCircle jobs into DryLINK, and that's what you need for Asset Manager to work. Now, if you want to use DryLINK jobs, we also push back our drying report into nCircle. So if you're using Hydro, then you don't need to use DryLINK jobs as well. That integration is if you want to use DryLINK and our drying report and not Hydro. But for Asset Manager purposes, the integration pushes jobs from nCircle to DryLINK, and that's what the integration consists of. All right. Do we have any more questions, Dave?
Not at the moment. We can give people a little bit more time, but those were the only two so far.
Sure. Okay. And if anybody wants to reach out directly, I'll put my contact information up right at the end here. I'll share my screen again. If you have any questions, you want to talk directly. Um, we've been doing this for a while, so we've learned a lot. We know how to get you going in the least with the least amount of work possible, although it is a fair amount of stuff to get done. But the benefits are pretty great. Okay, so Dave, if we don't have any more questions, I think what I'm going to do is just share my screen one last time, go back to the presentation, and put my contact information up here. Also, you can see Keith Hossley's contact information. He's our implementation specialist. He's also the DryLINK sales manager. If you want to get some bulk pricing, feel free to contact Keith Hossley.
Do have
Right.
one more question that
Okay.
says, I cannot access the program because the manager with the username and password left the company. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, in that case, so yeah, so I'll talk about this a little bit. If one thing you should do as the owner of your company is if you're going to get into DryLINK, make sure that the owner of the company is also the owner of DryLINK so that you always have access. But in the case of what you're saying, where somebody has left the company, if you just send your email information and your situation, we'll help you out. So you can see my email address on the screen here. You can send it to me or you can send it to Keith, and we'll get you straightened out. Okay. Any more questions, Dave?
There doesn't seem to be, so that should be everything.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for their time. I really appreciate you joining us. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And just to let you know, we are investing heavily in technology. It's an important thing for us. Like I say, we're building all of this into the Phoenix equipment. We're integrating with companies, and we're continuing to go down the remote monitoring path and making that better all the time. So if you're thinking about investing in remote monitoring or asset tracking, please think of Phoenix. I think we got a pretty good product, and we're going to continue to improve it. So thank you, everyone, for your time. Really appreciate it. Feel free to reach out, and hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks.